Welcome to Barcelona for a hugely anticipated Formula 2 race day. 4 weeks ago, when the championship was reborn, the races were all about making unlikely strategies work. Leclerc and Markelov certainly delivered in style on the opening weekend. Today, at the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya, the season heads to familiar ground. Many drivers feel the season resets right here. It's the feature race at round 2 of the 2017 FIA Formula 2 Championship. I'm your commentator, Alex Jakes. So it's going to be a fascinating race in prospect. It always is around a circuit that is so familiar to teams and drivers. They all have very, very similar baseline pace. And so before we get the grid, the story of qualifying, King set the benchmark pace, De Vries beat him, Leclerc tried to run in the gap, he failed to take pole then, Luca Giotto managed to do so, but then Leclerc right at the end snatched it away to give the grid looking like this, with Charles Leclerc taking his second pole in a row. It's a personal best though for Giotto at this level. Nick De Vries in the top 3 for the second race in a row. Jordan King, his best ever Barcelona qualifying in this car. In 5th position, Alex Albon was left bemoaning the yellow flags. Ollie Rowland needed a late lap to rescue his session. Then we had Norman Nato, who was the winner of the race in GP2 this time last year, Antonio Fuoco, Nicholas Latifi and Nobuhara Matsushita completing the top 10. Louis Delatraz was not impressed at all to be rapid in practice and slow in qualifying. He looks to put that right from 11th. Ralph Boschung bemoaned a mistake in the second sector of the lap that left him 12th. Artem Markelov has won from further down the grid than 13th before, but he'll have to go some way around the notoriously difficult circuit for overtaking. Then we had Camara. Roberto Merri is the one driver change in for Stefano Coletti at Campos. And then Johnny Cecotto, who won in GP2 from this exact position a few years ago. Then Galeo, Malia, Canamassas and Jeffrey completing the final row for Trident in 19th and 20th. So huge anticipation for a race where the degradation really is splitting the teams. A lot of the drivers coming to the grid on different tyres than they're starting the race. And here's the man that they have to beat. Searing form in Bahrain, where he won the race despite not being on top of the tyres. He will hope that that changes today. It's his only real hope of making it a second Formula 2 victory to go with his second consecutive pole for him and the Prima team. And aren't they working together oh so well in this early stage of the season? On board with Ollie Rowland, he really was unhappy, but thanked the team afterwards. After struggling for most of qualifying and in practice, he thanked the team for the massive progress, and he said he is pushing for big points today on the hard tyre. So let's get to the tyres then. They are going to dominate the majority of what we're focusing on in this race. Luca Giotto on the front row going the same way as his rival Charles Leclerc. It's very interesting to watch the body language of drivers at this level. Between former teammates, Leclerc and De Vries, very friendly, very upbeat, lots of nods, lots of winks, no eye contact between Luca Giotto and Charles Leclerc. Very unhappy Norman Nato we're riding on board with here. He said he wasn't what he was expecting. It wasn't the result that Arden really believed they could get, and they were working long into the night to try and deliver a better result. Nick De Vries is a very confident driver. You see him, their eyes closed, focusing on the start. And it's a start that is oh so crucial. The longest run down to turn 1 of the season. 730 meters, that is an awfully long way. It is the majority of the kilometer-long straight that we have around this circuit to Catalunya, 2.8 miles, and they might know it inside out, but you would expect, therefore, the races to be fairly routine. Well, not so in previous years in this machinery, in the series known as GP2. We've seen winners from 5th, 8th, and, as I mentioned, Johnny Cecotto from 16th, which still, all these years on, seems barely believable. He was able to make it work by running on a different tyre, and I can tell you, looking out of the commentary box in that slew of cars is Artem Markelov going in a different direction to those on the front row, going on the hard tyre as Charles Leclerc leads away the field. You're on board with the man who admitted they've been having a very difficult time so far this season. Sergio Canamassas at his home event, he was just eager to get back out there. He has been racing at this level for a very long time, and he hugely experienced, but to do it as long as he has at this level, you've got to have a real love for single-seaters at the elite level, and he certainly loves driving this car with yet another team, and he will be hoping for the sort of heroics he managed last year when he went from 15th on the grid in GP2 and managed to come through to 5th in the race. Usually in practice and qualifying, teams and drivers prefer 2 laps to warm the tyres and brakes. They only have 1. That is going to make things very difficult indeed with the heavy fuel heading down into turn number 1. A man who knows that feeling oh so well, the 2012 GP2 champion. Delighted to welcome Davide Valsecchi to the broadcast. Good afternoon to you. We have got an absolutely thrilling race in prospect because we don't know the answers to all the questions.
Ciao Alex, it's a real pleasure to be here. Yeah, and then the first event was amazing with 2 great races, so we are looking forward to see the race of today. Will be interesting. Leclerc for pole, an Italian driver, Luca Ghiotto from the first row will be interesting. The attack of the first corner.
Norman Nato led 18 laps in Bahrain but did not come away from victory. He is going to be desperate to emulate what he achieved this time last year. It was interesting in the build-up listening to Johnny Cecotto, who is a winner in GP2 around this racetrack, going today for the first time in F2, and he was saying that it's different lines that will maintain your tyres.
We have 0 radio at the moment.
And that is a real issue given the strategy that Jordan King is going to pursue. He thought that going on the soft tyre was about 5 seconds quicker over the course of the race. But crucially, if you go on the soft tyre, you're going to get rid of it as soon as possible. That would be lap 6. The problem then, you come out behind all the guys who started on the hard tyre and you have to fight your way through. It's exactly the strategy that Stoffel van Dorn employed on his way to victory with this equipment in 2015. We're on board with the alternative strategy runner. I'm glad we're on board with him because it's going to be thrilling to watch him charge through today.
Yeah, was in trouble yesterday, Markelov. He didn't perform very well in quali, and he's not really there in the standings. He's starting 13, so it will be really hard to come back, but he's a fighter, he's a racer, and I'm waiting for him just at the end to see how good he can be.
The back row just about formed up and ready to get us underway. There are 16 nationalities represented on the grid. We've got Ghiotto on the left, Leclerc on the right. 5 lights on, and they're off, and we're underway in Barcelona with a good start for Charles Leclerc. A bad one for Nick de Vries, who's immediately on the defensive. In fact, he's lost a position, but on the run down, it's a good start for Albon, who's challenging Ghiotto, who forces him wide. 3 wide into the third turn. Big lock-up for Charles Leclerc. Can he make the corner? He can, but he is super vulnerable coming out of turn number 2 with Ghiotto, who crashed at this corner 1 year ago. He's not anywhere near the barriers. He's really near the lead of the race. King and Rowland trying to hang on. It was a bad start. Ghiotto going for the lead immediately. That was bold. Can he hang on to it? And Ford tries to close the door. No, Leclerc comes back, and it's getting rude between the 2 drivers as Leclerc checks his mirrors, but he's hung on. What an opening few corners to this lap. You can see the oversteer. It's Leclerc, Ghiotto, Albon, who is looking really nicely placed at the moment. Ooh. And here comes de Vries on Rowland. Does he know he's there? He does just about. He would have had to get out of it. De Vries trying to reclaim the positions he lost at the start, and Leclerc, well, he lost the lead for about half a corner and got it back on a thrilling opening lap.
How good it was, Leclerc, in the start. He was really good, and then the approach of the coast corner was perfect for him, but then Ghiotto, how aggressive, how he was really good. He tried, but he could not make it. Leclerc come back.
Here comes Nato trying to go around the outside of Nicholas Latifi. He's not had the best of getaways. Remember, he was starting 7th on the grid, and Nato not having the easiest of races, as already they come through to complete lap 1 of the race. Already very close between Leclerc and Giotto as they go over the line. It's Leclerc, Giotto, Albon, King and Roland, your top 5. A turn 2 incident involving Canamassas is under investigation. And here we've got Matsushita going past Norman Nato. So he lost a place at the start, Nato, and now he's down to 9th. We're on board with the main alternate strategy runner to be looking out for. That is Artem Markelov, who has already got himself from 13th to 10th. And look at the speed he's got despite the difference in tyres. Is he running the... no, he's running the hard as well. So that is why maybe Nato is struggling, but it's crucial for Nato. Remember, Nato in the yellow. Arden started in 7th. Markelov in 13th, and yet they're on the same piece of tarmac.
Yeah, Nato really bad start, and also De Vries that was already struggling in Bahrain at the start.
There's a car off the road. Antonio Fuoco, was he sent wide? Did he recover? No, he's in the gravel, and his difficult weekend continues with damage to the front wing. That is a corner you cannot afford to go wide on. He was lining up a move in front of him. We'll see it one more time.
It's almost impossible here at corner 7, and then it was on the outside.
Oh, contact. We didn't see that contact between Markelov, who had gone on the defensive, left himself vulnerable in the middle part of the lap. But Antonia's got to know that you don't need to make the moves at that part of the racetrack. It's tight, it's technical. You can only lose time going offline. Worse than that, he's damaged the car, and that really completes his difficult weekend as he trails back to the pits now, having fallen behind Jeffrey, it is. Also coming into the pits, Johnny Cecotto with damage to his front wing. So another incident, and the drivers have been making mistakes and going off the road all weekend long, and we're seeing more of it in the early stages of this 37-lap race. So whilst his teammate leads, it's not going the way of Antonio Fuoco.
Markelov, he closed me out. He didn't let me any space.
Yeah, maybe Markelov didn't look at the mirror, but he was on the outside. He missed the brake and just hit the rear part of the car of Markelov. So I think that was a mistake from Antonio Fuoco. He just missed the brake at turn 7.
So we've got Artem Markelov, no puncher. Would have been so easy for his rear tyre to be punctured. Look at the difference in speed we're getting there between the compounds. That's so close to contact, and somehow Latifi avoiding it with Matsushita, who knows he needs to get on terms with his teammate. He knows he needs to attack early on, but the more you take out of the tyres at this stage of the race with the heavy fuel, you are going to pay for it at the end of your stint. DRS is enabled. Sergio Canamassas has got a penalty. They were all warned in the driver's briefing. If you go off the road at turn 1, and you must rejoin the left-hand side of the bollard. Thrilling bollard update for you, but that is why he's got the penalty.
Yeah, he cut the second corner, trying to have an advantage, but he gets penalized.
It's not worked for him, but it might be the reason that he's running in 12th, having started at the very back of the grid. Charles Leclerc. Oh, here we go. Yeah, we've got a move from Albon, who's got the run and got the inside line. He's got second place to boot. Super move from Alexander Albon, who gets past Luca Giotto. The guys on different tyres, of course. Giotto seemingly struggling from as early as lap 4. So the guys on softs are comfortable. It's the fastest strategy, but you're beginning to see that degradation. And Albon makes the move as we go back to the start of the race. And it was a good getaway at the start for Leclerc. You see De Vries in 3rd place. The black Rapax there immediately swallowed. And that gave a chance for Albon to improve. Ollie Rowland was unsighted by a poor getaway for King. He wasn't able, sort of had to move very quickly indeed, rather checked his momentum of being faster off the line.
But look how good he was, Leclerc. He went really tight on the inside. He was really on the inside. He braked deep and look, the lockup on the front, but then he could maintain the line. Really well done, really well managed. The first corner from the French guy, really good.
The top 3 from the GP3 series of 2016, as we see Canamassas and how he jumped it, are now 1 and 2 in this race. We're on board with Ollie Rowland. And you see up through the gears, so looking good. You see how tight it got, and the lock up there from Leclerc. much. To freeze, not the great start, but he got his elbows out to hold on to fourth there. And this is Canamassas. Now we're going to see why he got his penalty right now.
Look, he cut the second corner, try to having an advantage. You have to stay on the left of this bollard. He just rejoined the track too quick.
Didn't think about it at the time, and that really has hurt him. This is how Johnny Cecotto, wow, that was from far too far back. He's totally missed the braking point, and that was damage and a spin there. There's Cecotto outbraking himself and taking round Louis Delatraz's Racing Engineering. Bit of a messy one from Johnny Cecotto.
Yeah, he tried to overtake one guy, but then he went too deep and he touched the car that was already in the corner. Really bad mistake.
So Markelov trying to make this alternative strategy work up behind Latifi on the hard tyres. Remember, you cannot make a pit stop in Formula 2 until you get to, you see the debris there from Fuoco off the road, until you get to lap 6. So end of lap 6 at that. So this is the tightest battle on the racetrack. That's why we're focusing on it right now. Up front, a 2.1 second lead for Charles Leclerc ahead of Alexander Albon, as Giotto's soft tyres degrading faster than the Premers. Incident involving Boschong and Canamassas has been noted in terms of track limits, as you see Mary and Delatraz fighting way down the order there. That's for 16th position after Delatraz was spun round. So he's started the weekend so well in 5th position in practice, but has gone further backwards and further backwards as we are on to the 6th lap of this race, with it really finally in the battle. But I tell you what, look at the gap between Leclerc and Albon, the two former teammates in GP3. Now the guys who finished 1st and 2nd in that championship, now 1st and 2nd in this race.
It showed that they are really talented. I think that Albon and Leclerc last year, they made the difference with the speed and the quality of their driving, and now they are showing immediately to the GP2 drivers that maybe you don't need experience.
Yeah, Robbie, how many places did I lose with this safety car problem? 2 positions.
So it's very interesting indeed to hear Camera being told on the radio that he losing 2 positions, but he mentioned a safety car. We haven't had a safety car, so I wonder if they're discussing alternate strategies or maybe bringing him in now that we're in the window of the pit stops.
Really strange in the race of Fuoco that after the incident he was forced to make the pit stop to repair the front nose, and look, now he's almost lapped at 86 seconds behind the leader. So he's just in front of Leclerc that is leading, but he's last.
We've got Matsushita. This was the move. This is how he got past. Nice, clean move to take 7th position. But remember, of course, he was on the softer tyres. This is how Artem Markelov thought about making the move. Left it down the inside. Very reminiscent, in fact, to the move that Nato made on Gasly using this machinery 1 year ago. It is a corner turn 10 that you really have to commit to and almost force the other guy to get out of the way or have an accident.
Yeah, you're right. You have to brake deep on the inside and then stay close to the inside corner and open the throttle really early. Sometimes on the outside you can cross the line and try to have an advantage in the exit, but it's really important to brake at that corner. Will be interesting for all the race long there.
So Jordan King had a great start to his season in Bahrain with a 4th and a 5th, but he doesn't like the look of the tyres one bit. He has been in to get rid of the softs, to put on the hard tyres, and he will now have to attack without taking too much tyre life from the harder of the compounds Pirelli have brought. Turn 10 incident between Fuoco and Markelov being investigated by the stewards. And I wonder if Fuoco might take the penalty there. So Markelov still can't get past Latifi. He's been running behind him. You can see he's within DRS. But Latifi, last time around, of course, within the DRS and Matsushita. And that is one of the ways that you can defend around this racetrack, by staying within a second of the car in front. I reckon Markelov might be able to slither past should Matsushita be able to break the 1 second barrier. But these are all ifs and buts, and the guys are really having to work out there with a track temperature of 44 degrees, far higher than we saw when they tested around here for 3 days in March.
Yeah, it will be not easy for the driver to control the high temperature and the gyros. With this temperature, Markelov is struggling behind Latifi. Is for sure quicker, and now we can attack him because Latifi maybe he cannot have the DRS and Markelov with the DRS open. Oh.
And we've got the leader in as well. So Charles Leclerc, great opening stint for him in this race. But is that slightly slow away? No, not quite what they would have wanted, but it's got him out cleanly with all four wheels attached as he goes from the soft to the hard. And now it's going to be interesting to see whether he comes out anywhere near. Just checking that all four wheels are attached with a wiggle of the steering wheel, and he's back out. You can see King at the top of your picture there has already stopped, and he did not have the easiest start, and it is back onto the racetrack now. And we wait to see when they converge with these runners, the ones that started on the hard tyres later in the race. So no action taken by the stewards between Folco and Markelov. Still, Markelov staring at the rear wing of this Dams, but crucially, with Matsushita coming into the pits to get rid of those soft tyres, Latifi no longer has the advantage of DRS on the straights.
This corner seems really close. DRS open. We check it out in the break. No, it's too far. It's too far. Not easy for Markelov. He's losing time. Almost 8 tenths per lap behind Latifi. It's a shame for him. Strange that Leclerc pit so early, but we have to consider that Albon in the last lap he was just quicker than him, and so Team Prema decided to stop him for changing the tires.
No messing around from Alexander Albon. We've seen he was a race winner here in GP3 last year. Markelov really close this time. It's Luca Giotto who has come into the pits, but it's his teammate on the charge now as they go down the kilometre-long straight. Latifi knows he's there, looking in the mirrors. How determined with the DRS is he going to need to be? Latifi thinks about defending it, knows there's nothing he can do, knows he can't fight back, and a crucial move in the context of this race as Artem Markelov moves past Latifi and takes 5th position. But if he can make those tyres last like we know Markelov can, it could be a lot better later on. But he's really got to make up the time that he lost behind the Dams now.
Yeah, and look, it's not so easy. Over 2 guys and recover position when you are starting from the 13th position. So really hard work and hard job for Markelov today.
So Camera being given a 10-second penalty for causing a collision. A disaster for him then. He was running, where was he running? In the top 10. We are in the middle of the race, of course, where everyone is beginning to cycle through their stops. You can see the improvement for Alexander Albon, who will be very pleased indeed. And we've got Luca Giotto on the hard tyres, and Sergio Canamassas' day looks to be run. Thankfully, he's very close to a marshal's post, but he has not been able to pull over. Davide, your arms are outstretched. Tell us why.
Yeah, you're right. He's really close, but he's in the middle of the track. Why he didn't pull over on the right? I mean, now it can cause also a safety car.
A safety car, a virtual safety car. The difference between the two, absolutely massive. Because if you get a virtual safety car, you can't pit. If you get an actual safety car, Marshall's on the racetrack. It's quite a narrow piece of racetrack that. Out of turn number 5, they're trying to push him down the hill.
He's trying to restart, I think, huh?
He is. He's asking for a push start with the virtual safety car deployed on the racetrack. So that is crucial for the likes of Leclerc and Albon, of course, who were so close together. But we've got him stranded in the middle. Can be an
advantage for Albon. If he gets to the pit stop to make the tires changing, he's going to gain a lot of time, huh?
If the full safety car is deployed, of course, because you can't come in under these conditions. So all the mechanics back to their position. Everyone on track, running at a 77 average kilometre-an-hour average around the sectors. And I tell you what, Sergio Canamassas isn't conceding defeat here. He's not getting out of the car. He's not deciding to get out of the car at all, which is very Canamassas-like from what we've seen down the years. He is now conceding defeat, and now here we go, full safety car. So you can now pit, and this is going to bring all the guys who are still out onto the racetrack into play, and we're about to get a jumbled order in this race. Sergio Canamassas' failure and request for a restart, meaning that a full safety car has been deployed. And now, well, the door springs open for those running on the alternative strategy.
Yeah, you're right. The safety car, now they can pit. Who is the car just behind the safety car? Because he's not in front of the leader, the safety car. So maybe it's not a big advantage to Albon. It's not easy to understand the situation when comes the safety car in. Also for the driver, they just know that they have to push. Okay, it's the race is stopped, so you cannot really go to 100%. But it's important to be quick, to rejoin the group immediately, to don't lose precious time.
So it's going to be great to see how this all filters through. So this was the problem. See Delatraz making the move on Galeo there as he recovers his way through the field, and Canamassas suffering the problem. So he had that problem on the pit straight and tried to continue all the way around to the pits, but ran out of luck and equipment.
You can hear the engine, there is misfire on the engine, so it's like a technical problem. But it's strange that Canamassa, after one complete lap, he tried to be pushed by the marshal. It's strange, eh? He just had to pull over.
Very odd, but it is Sergio. It's everything we know and love, shall we say, about the Spanish driver. And he's still in the car as they try to tow it away. So we can see the field, led by Alexander Albon, then Ollie Rowland, and then De Vries, who are the top three.
This one is a big advantage from Leclerc. Albon is leading, is stopped by the safety car. Leclerc can close the gap and get in the group really close to the leader. And these guys, they have still to stop for the pit stop.
Absolutely. So looking good for Charles Leclerc at the moment. The longer the safety car is out, the better it looks. Of course, they are still regulated to that sector speed in terms of having to show that they have sufficiently slowed. And Artem Markelov, the man for the alternative strategy, is going to close up to those that were miles in front. They were 13 seconds down the road when he made that move on Latifi. We learned to never count out Markelov, so I thought I'd check how far away the leader was, and it's not going to be very far away at all. There you can see the third place man. Fourth place man behind the safety car is going to be Artem Markelov. So Albon, nothing really he can do on his tyres. No free pit stop advantage for him. They were changing the tyres on the grid. They were making their decision as late as possible. Albon did decide to stick with the hard tyre. And finally, the marshals, who do such a wonderful job around this racetrack and every racetrack, are able to whisk away the Trident. And that means surely at the end of the lap, we will be able to get going once again. Safety car lights still on, though. The safety car lights go out. Just looking at the gaps that do update, even though we're behind the safety car. So Ralph Boschung has come in to the pits. He's leading in terms of having pitted. Has he changed tyres? He couldn't possibly be ahead. So I wonder if that was for damage earlier on.
It's not easy, the situation, to understand. What is sure is that the safety car.
Put me the leading car on the. A car went out of the pits and went over 80 for sure. For sure, it's Russian. No, the orange car. I don't know, the car that went out of the pits. So yeah, now reported to the field. He went flat out of the pits.
Waiting to see when the train filters through. Nothing really that Albon can do. The safety car
Another lap.
needs another lap. Davide, you're not happy about this.
Oh, come on. We want to see the race. We want to see the race. Anyway, Albon is not in a lucky position because he was competitive. He was leading the race. He was really far to Leclerc, and now safety car stop all the group. Look, it's just a queue, so Leclerc gained so many seconds to him. Albon, he will struggling to get the podium today. He has to be magic now. try to gain so many seconds, because the driver that they are here in the group with already having the pit stop, they are really advantage at the moment.
To all of these guys in the picture on the hard tyre, you see Galeo, who was backing up the race, shrug his shoulders afterwards and go, what could I do about that safety car? Of course, he has been able to save these tyres behind the safety car, so he will be able to go a really long way, further than he would have done if they'd been at full racing speed, of course, earlier in the race. Artem Markelov, the advantage of the safety car to bring him back into play, the disadvantage of everyone on the alternate strategy catching him up. So swings and roundabouts, when the safety car is deployed, it can work for you, it can work against you. We saw 2 last year, changing the complexion of the race and handing the advantage to Norman Nato then. Now with the restart, Alexander Albon decided to back them up an awfully long way. And when is he going to drop the hammer? When is he going to go? He's decided to go now. And remember, they are racing from the safety car line around this circuit, which is before the start-finish straight begins. So you can get very, very close to lining up a move. He has judged that beautifully, though. Alexander Albon gets us racing once again ahead of Ollie Rowland, Nick de Vries and Artem Markelov, who will immediately try to make progress at the front. Just important for the guys on the who started on the soft tyres to come back and be careful in these opening laps running in close formation. Very close there between camera, as we see a very, very feisty Delatraz trying to go all the way around the outside of Nato. That would be special if he was able to push it up. He's got the inside line, and that is some move. Well driven, Louis Delatraz. He went the long way round and managed to pull it off.
That was good, that was good. It was not easy there, really wide.
Oh, we've got an MP, Jordan King off the road. That's exactly what I was talking about, between guys who have already stopped in the mid-pack. You can't afford an opening restart lap like that, because it's going to cost you so much time. And you can see Boschung now and Leclerc very close together. Remember, that is almost certainly for the net lead of the race. And look how close Luca Giotto is. He's right behind him with no DRS enabled at this stage, so it's Oyu has the pure speed. Nato trying to get past Boschung. They're slowing everyone down, and Giotto desperate to try and pounce. He'll have a great opportunity onto the main straight next time around.
Will be interesting now, because they fight for something important. They are only 11 at the moment, but maybe they can fight for the podium and for the victory. So Giotto has to take his chance to Leclerc. Leclerc to Boschung is really close now.
So Leclerc's got to make the move, otherwise he's going to be gobbled up. That's the risk. That's the sort of situation that we're in. We can see Boschung given a time penalty for not respecting the track limits. And Giotto really in the toe now, absolutely attacking. You can see he might have a straight line speed advantage. Is he going to try for the move? No, he's taking the circumspect route and tucking in as Boschung gets past Norman Nato, who's having a terrible old time of it on the tyres. Nato, who has not been into the pits. Remember, the guys going past him right now are on the newer hard tyres.
Look, Leclerc easy on Norman Nato on the inside, easy.
So a really simple move for Leclerc to put a car between him and his rival for this race. When Luca Giotto, can Giotto clear him? He can, down the inside. He had the move. And now this is just really important for Giotto, if he's got any hope of winning this race, that he makes the moves in tandem. A synchronized overtaking battle through the field as those who are on the newer, harder rubber clear those who started on that tyre.
Will be important now, using the chance that gives the track to you. Look, Leclerc now is really close to Boschung. He knows that he will be penalized because he spoke with the engineer and he reported to the engineer that Boschung, he was over the rule. And now Giotto behind Leclerc, he has to try to see the gap, to see the space, and to try to attack him. Will be not easy because looks incredibly quick today, Leclerc.
So Boschung continuing to circulate out there, and he had good drive off this corner last time around. It enabled him to carry on and maintain position. You can see again, he does still have great drive. It's certainly the last part of the lap, not Luca Giotto's favourite. We're going on board with Artem Markelov in fourth position, who got very close indeed. Boschung now down the inside. Oh, nearly contact. So very nearly damage to the front wing as Galeo slips back on the old hard tyres. And Leclerc, in his eagerness to get past, very nearly took the end plate off the front wing, and he can't afford to do that. Giotto, is he going to try anything bold? Oh, he's thinking about it. He's super tight to the corner, but he's getting past at the same time. If Galeo, who is really stuck in a difficult position, thinks about the move, Leclerc is super defensive, and they might be in the middle of the pack, but this could be for the main trophy of all later on. Leclerc really not enjoying this stage of the race, trying to get past Boschung, failing to get close enough in the final sector, and then being caught in the opening sector of the lap by Luca Giotto with the aid of DRS.
But it was not easy, and he managed it really well. He tried to avoid the mistake, he tried to avoid the contact, and he's still there, just in front of Giotto. Important for him to stay in front of the giant.
Now, Nobuharu Matsushita has managed to get through. He's got another man to get past Galeo. This time, Leclerc's had a couple of laps to look at the back of Boschung, and he will know that he is running out of opportunities to get past him. Leclerc heading backwards on the older rubber. Remember, he just has to run his own race. He can't lose a lot of time here on the harder tyre, just has to almost wade the other guys through. Oh, really close now between De Vries and Markelov, who went the really long way round. Robust defence from the Dutchman, but Markelov makes the move, and it's a sweet one into turn number one.
And what a move! Oh, close!
Oh, Boschung and Leclerc's had enough of this, and he's gone all the way around the outside to take the position, and crucially, Giotto can't make it through, but you can see he's almost nudging him through the corner, almost nerving him. Boschung going defensive, still going defensive, and Boschung manages to keep behind Luca Giotto.
What a race again today! What a race! Really spectacular. Will be not easy for Giotto, that is losing time behind Boschung, but Leclerc was perfect. And Markelov, oh, deep inside he was. Look at it! He closed the door. He went on this side. He was on the pit lane exit. And what a move! Spectacular overtaking.
Wonderful stuff. On board, we can enjoy it one more time, building up to 190 miles an hour, and you can see there wasn't much between them, but Artem Markelov is not in the mood to concede just yet. He gets himself up to third position, and this is how Leclerc, this really so important in context of the race victory. Charles Leclerc going around the outside. Boschung had to get out of it, open the steering, but crucially he defended from Giotto. And now we go to Gustav Malia, who is trying to make the strategy work down there. He's racing Cecotto in 14th. You can see at the front, the real lead, very, very close between Roland as Latifi looking after his tyres. We saw this from Nick De Vries in Bahrain. Remember, he is a rookie graduate from GP3. Very close between King and, not King, it's Camera, who's over the road and very nearly lost it on the exit of 2, and very close all the way around the circuit. And here comes Charles Leclerc just to compound his worries, the rapid man. And you can see the gap. Leclerc just clearly much better in terms of enjoying the car. He's got down the inside, surely he's got the position. Does Camera know he's there? He does, but look how far he's pulled away from Luca Giotto.
And that is the talent. He makes the overtake looks really easy. That's the talent. He's perfect.
If you hear me, Giotto behind us is on the same strategy.
So Leclerc being told not to panic, and he really, that's a great couple of laps for the Monegasque driver, the Ferrari Junior, and he's managed to pull away from one of his rivals for this race. Meanwhile, at the front, Ollie Rowland and Alexander Albon. Alexander Albon, a rookie in this machinery. They're all rookies this year, of course, for Formula 2, but Ollie Rowland has a few more races as Canamassas has a chat discussing what has been a difficult start to the season for him and Trident. So here comes Ollie Rowland looking for the race lead with the use of DRS. Got a great chance of it. Is he going to try for the move? Just too far back this time. And he tucks in, but he's looking far more comfortable with the rubber at this stage, having started on the hard tyre.
Looking the standings at the moment, Albon and Rowland, they are running really, really fast. 1:36.5, almost 2 seconds per lap quicker than Leclerc. 1 second, 0.5, and it's important because the gap between Leclerc, that is the first driver, already made the pit stop, is 11 seconds to the leader, 12 seconds now, and so Albon has to push and keep going, and then hoping for the first tires in the last few laps and try to recover position. He's still in the challenge for the podium.
And meanwhile, with all this fantastic action throughout the field, it is worth getting your opinion. We heard Johnny Cicotto talking about alternative driving lines to maintain the tyres around this racetrack. Talk us through what they would be and what corners you can really save the tyres in.
Now, look, you approach the hairpin, corner 10, and here you have to be smart and clever. Look, using the inside, turn the car really quick and try to go on throttle with the car straight in the exit, so you don't force the rear tires using the grip to have the minimum speed, but just using the grip to have the good exit that give you the maximum speed at the end of the straight. So it's important to put the car straight before to go on throttle, and it's not easy to be quick and conserve the tires. Only the best driver that can do it.
Absolutely. Well, we're seeing a lot of them out there today. Amazingly, we're already on lap 20 of a race that continues to enthrall. Now, Giotto looking for a second consecutive round where he's on the podium. He's got the move on camera. Nice, easy move. Different tyre wear there. And he gets through and moves past. So really easy stuff for him. And that's working out nicely for the Italian driver, who doesn't appear to have the ultimate pace of Charles Leclerc. As in comes Roberto Merhi. We've got Juan Campos going very nicely with Ralph Boschung. And Roberto Merhi, of course, started 13 Formula One Grand Prix. Oh, he's got a puncher there. So I think we're about to find out why. Who is that getting into the side of him? Antonio Fuoco. His weekend is complete. So Fuoco down the inside will be so frustrated with how it's gone. And now he'll be even more frustrated to try and continue with that damage at a circuit where aero grip is so important.
Yeah, it's a trouble having this problem on the front wing because you are losing performance in the first corner. So it means in the first sector and then in the middle sector will be not easy for Fuoco to be performing and fast now.
Virtual safety car offenders will be investigated after the race. Meanwhile, for the battle for the lead, Albon having to go super defensive. Rowland trying to go around the outside, knows he doesn't need to, and instead tucks back in. He knows he's got the superior grip. He knows it's a case of when and not if. He's still got to make the move done without collecting some of the damage that we've seen, but Ollie Rowland knows that he's having his time slowed behind the Thai driver in the ART.
Yeah, but it's important for Albon to maintain the position because the racing position is wide.
Oh, he's really had enough of looking at the back of that gearbox now. Tried it in an unconventional place without the use of DRS. Nearly caused damage to the car, but the inside line into 7 will surely mean a change to the lead of the race. It might not be the lead at the end, but Ollie Rowland will still be delighted in the context of his race and the context of those who started on the hard tyre to get past, and he did it in a part of the racetrack that you would not normally see. And that is the joy of a Formula 2 race. Corners that are normally off limits suddenly become overtaking opportunities.
Yeah, you're right. He's spectacular the fight today. Really well done for Rowland that surprised Albon, that opened a bit too much the line. It's important to get the position now because he's going to fight. He has to push and then he will have fresh tires for the end and try to recover position. So he's still in the challenge for the podium position. It's important for this guy to don't lose speed. But looks, Rowland is just pulling away easily.
Wow, he really has pulled a gap considering that's only one sector of the lap. Absolutely rapid stuff as we head into the final. So he just tried to catch him underway. He's from so far back.
He was far, right.
So far back. Albon, oh, there's the contact. Nearly ripped the front wing off. But he realized he just got to his limit, hadn't he? He just got to the point where he couldn't follow any longer. As they battled for the lead at the start, progress being made by Luca Ghiotto on Delatraz, by Matsushita, who does seem to have a better balance at this stage than the man in front of him. Could be a late developing battle. And here comes Leclerc seamlessly making his way through and getting his way past the Rapax there as he headed past De Vries. Of course, they were first and third on the grid, and now with De Vries still to make his stop, he has been passed, and he's now got the man who was second just in front of him. That is the difference that the safety car made to the hard-shod runners in this field. Charles Leclerc, he said he didn't take any confidence from the Bahrain victory because he knew it was a bit of a one-off. He knew he had to make that stop in the sprint race because he had real trouble with tyre wear. Well, he's got it right now.
Okay, well done, Oliver. We are still quicker than the guys that have.
What about tires, Alex? We will try to do the undercut on Roland.
So it's about 31 seconds to make a pit stop around here. And I can tell you the gap between Ollie Rowland and Charles Leclerc only 11 seconds, so it's not going to work, but he will be, of course, looking to try and score points. He will have the use of the soft rubber, so he will be so much quicker than these guys at the end of the race, but still an awful lot for those guys to do.
I know the engineer of Roland, he's from Team Dams, Spanish guy, Jose. He needs to push his driver to be performing now because he can reach a really good result today. Look,
here's Malia on Boschon, forcing him the long way round, and Malia makes that move. Boschon
struggling now.
Yeah, really not enjoying what is left of those tyres. He's not able to keep the racing engineering behind, and Boschon has had a starring role in this race, but unfortunately it has been going backwards. That now lowers him to 12th in the order. So we're still awaiting the final stages of this race and the final pit stops, but without another safety car, they're really going to struggle to have anything to shout about at the end of the race. Track temperature maintained at 44. We can see Latifi getting closer to Markelov, who, remember, for so long in this race was stuck behind the Dams driver.
He's losing performance, Markelov, at the moment. The quickest into track is still Roland, that is running 1:36.9. Is the only driver behind the 1:37 with Latifi. That is really competitive at the moment. Is the only two drivers really quick under the 1:37.
Charles Leclerc now up to 5th running in the 1:37s. Ollie Rowland running in the 1:36s. So Rowland really giving it everything on heavily worn rubber, but because of where Leclerc is on the racetrack and the stage that he's had to push early on to get track position, he is just looking after the tyres, just managing that orange-walled P0 rubber on his car. And you can see now Rapax ready to receive De Vries, who once again, sad to say, he has struggled for tyre degradation, but that is what you have to learn when you come in to the series. It is a series that prepares you for high deg, for going up the ladder. Of course, Formula One has changed the approach this year, and at the moment, Nick De Vries, great one-lap pace on the soft tyre, but can't make it last in the races.
Yeah, you're right. He's struggling a bit at the start, and in conserving the tyres, it will be important for him.
Oh, huge,
what's a jump? It was
huge moment there for Johnny Cecotto. To see it in slow motion there at turn number 9, taking too much, and you can see how much Ollie Rowland's tyres have degraded there. But he's hanging on, and he's still, as I said, putting in really, really strong lap times.
Quickest.
He's the only man in the 1:36s. As we go back to Antonio Fuoco, who does have the damage on the front of his end plate. It isn't really hurting him at this stage. Ralph Boschon still heading backwards. And he's got a train of cars behind him. Not what he wanted to see at this stage at all. So Boschon has got Cecotto coming for him. And then he's also got the MP Motorsport car of Sergio Sette Camara. I should say it's Jordan King. It's not Camara, it's Jordan King who is on the charge. We saw him off the road on that opening restart lap, and now he's attacking. Said that whoever made the strategy work would have had to really fight for it. Cecotto not able to hold off King, not able to hold off the second car following through there of Antonio Fuoco, who despite the damage is rather quicker at the moment.
For these guys, the race is not easy now, and they are struggling. They lose energy. They try to maintain the focusing and the concentration, but they are fighting for the 14th position, and it's not easy to try to have the energy to maintain the speed, because you know for sure that you are not going to fight for the top position, and it's not easy to have the mentality to stay there 100% concentration.
So Ollie Rowland is beginning to push. Charles Leclerc is responding, trying to close the gap to Nicholas Latifi. And it will be interesting to see whether Giotto can stay just out of DRS range. He's about 1 second away, so maybe Nobuharu Matsushita about to threaten what looks to be a net second place. As in comes Alexander Albon. We're looking at him right now in the ART, ready to be received by his pit crew. They practice every single hour of the day. They were up this morning at 7:10 practicing this, and with the soft tyres going on, does the practice pay off? It absolutely does. That is why ART are one of the leading teams in this series, leading team anywhere in the world. And now, interesting to see where he comes out. He's behind Fuoco, and unfortunately, that is what the safety car did to Alexander Albon's race.
You're right. He's been unlucky with the safety car. He lost so much time, and look which position is. Yeah, he's around the 14th, 15th, so it'll be not easy at all for him to rejoin the top position.
Artem Markelov has gone well in recent years around this circuit. He had a pair of 4th places this time last year in GP2 using the same car, but a man who went better than that, a man who was on the podium, a man who finished the race as the fastest. He really does love this circuit. The Canadian Nicholas Latifi, there he is, giving chase, and now he is really within the DRS zone, having struggled earlier on. He's now getting the payback for looking after the Pirelli tyres.
Anyway, Team Dams is really good conserving tires, because now Roland is leading the race. Didn't have the pit stop yet. Latifi in the same condition, and they are the quickest drivers in the track. So really good from Dams. Latifi is pushing Markelov. He changed the strategy. He wanted to the box.
So he comes in, not long to go now in this race, and he's going to go earlier. Normally, they were struggling, of course, early on for 6 laps on the soft tyre, but remember, the car is far lighter now. So where is he going to manage to come back out, and can he make that soft Pirelli rubber work as he fights his way back through the field? Charles Leclerc is up to 3rd in the actual order of this race. On goes the soft rubber for Latifi. There's a problem, is there, on the front there? I think there is. Slightly slowed down with a problem on the left front, and that will have hurt his chances even more than the safety car did. Back to Antonio Fuoco, who you can see his contact earlier on in the race.
Let's keep going with the problem on the front wing. Look, on the left side, right side on the television, missed the upper part of the front wing, and is still fighting for the points position. He's 9th at the moment.
He's really giving it a go at this stage, but it's difficult to see how he's able to. He's really using every part of the road. I mean, maybe the handling that has been affected. So Boschon heading backwards as the pit stops begin to filter through. Alexander Albon setting a rapid pace. He is currently out of the points, so he wouldn't get the points for fastest lap, but we are going to see the strategies now meet in the middle. Fuoco thinks about a move on Boschon, but at the moment cannot hold on, and we just have Ollie Rowland and Artem Markelov in the field of 19 cars that are still running, just the one retirement, which is Sergio Canamassas. Here is Jordan King going past Boschon, and then further contact Wow, he just can't stay away from other cars this weekend. That's Artem Markelov. He's been into the pits at last and now can just absolutely leather the tyres in a low fuel configuration to try and get himself into the points-paying position. Here's Boschong and Albon, who was all over the road in the final sector a few moments ago, and he has just about managed to get past, flew past. He just about managed to avoid contact, I was going to say, and now he's flown past. Boschong trying to hang on, and Alexander Albon, confirmation of the fastest lap of the race. Only Ollie Rowland is still out there. Ollie Rowland now in the 37s.
He's already seventh, Albon, and he has the chance of keeping this rhythm to fight for something important, maybe fourth position, maybe also podium. Really good race for Albon.
Looking very good as well. He did struggle in the early stages, of course. Now, Antonio Fuoco has come back out. He's changed the tyres, and he's now made his stop. Miserable day for him. He's immediately going to come under threat from Norman Nato. Thinks about it, but the tyre difference means that Nato is going to have to fight all the way. Is he going to go around the outside? He's not going to yield. Oh, and he's shown to the grass, and he doesn't like it one little bit. Norman Nato furious to be shown a full view of the gravel there on the exit of turn number 4. And we have a change for the lead because in comes Ollie Rowland for Dams. The Yorkshireman putting on the soft tyres. Leclerc easily into the lead, pushed away by his mechanics there. Another slick stop, but where will Ollie Rowland come out? Is he going to get jumped by Albon and King? Remember, these guys are on the strategy. Albon is sailing past Jordan King, and Jordan King is out ahead of Ollie Rowland. But the advantage he is going to have, because he has waited the longest of all of those who started on the hard tyres, is going to be huge. King, remember, started on the softs at the start of this race.
Yeah, you're right. Look, Albon, 1:34.7. On the main straight, he overtook 2 cars. Rowland that was leading just in the exit of the pit lane, and then the other contender, Jordan King. So now he's 5th, and he just set the fastest lap of the race.
To Albon with an absolutely searing pace. He is going for it with everything that he's got. A winner in GP3, knows his way around this circuit, confident more and more with the team. He was with ART in GP3, and he's continued with them in Formula 2. Norman Nato, this was a few moments ago, trying to hang on and not liking being shown to the curb. And the hand gesture tells you all you need to know.
Was extreme, but he was correct. Fuoco, he just opened the line, maybe didn't even saw him, so it was correct from my point of view.
So, that's an interesting message on the screen that camera is under investigation for failing to serve the time penalty. That is not the smartest way to go about things. He might be about to see the black flag for ignoring a penalty. He would have been able to serve that time penalty, of course, at his pit stop. So Nato still keeping Fuoco in sight. But it's worth reminding ourselves, this is the battle for 15th position. Norman Nato has been a winner around this circuit before, and it's not really what Nato would have been expecting at all. A lot of new personnel at Arden, a lot of new personnel who will be scratching their heads. Alexander Albon didn't get a lot of luck with the safety car, but he is in another postcode in terms of time. Nice. Just easily sweeps to the inside, and with the soft yellow wall Pirelli rubber, it's a simple move on Gustav Malier's racing engineering car.
Nice move, because he remained covered on the right side, and then he jumped on the inside. Nice move. He has to make this attack. He didn't have to lose time, and he didn't. Now he's 4th, and he has the chance, 8 seconds in front of him, to catch Matsushita for the podium.
That really would be, I mean, that would be so important for the psychology of the teammates. Ollie Rowland is down the inside of Jordan King. Huge difference in terms of the grip, and Ollie Rowland, who had managed to get past Albon, will be very frustrated indeed to find himself behind the ART driver, Latifi. Very close to Boschong now, and these aren't really fair fights on the racetrack. But remember, all of the hard work to gain these easy moves have been done earlier in the race when they were looking after their tyres.
Yeah, you are right. You are right. It's so important to be good on the overtakes. And now Latifi has a good chance on the main straight with the DRS open. Looks really close, so should be
sprint race. Ollie Rowland getting very close to Gustav Malya, who I don't think he's going to fight it one bit, because Malya is trying to hang on to what is left of his tyres.
And you were right. Rowland now with the fresher tires than the contender. He's running really quick, 1:34 and 4. He's 1 second quicker than everyone else, and he's still gaining. Also,
this was his move at turn 10, 1 lap ago on Jordan King.
Easy.
And he's made another one on Gustav Malya a few corners later. Back to Artem Markelov, who is very close to Boschon. Got the DRS open. This is the drop. Markelov not fancying it at all, taking the risk-free approach. He talked about his maturity, and that is why he wasn't going to risk it down the inside. Doesn't need to. Superb traction from the soft tyres, and Artem Markelov, who started 13th, has at least made progress to the points. He is 9th. Gustav Malya, who was 18th on this grid, is putting in a pretty sterling drive, but is he going to have enough tyres left later on in the final stages of this race?
Leclerc, easy condition. He's in easy condition. He just has to control the situation. Look, easy, nice, smooth on the driving style. He still has a good performance of the cars and from the tires, and just miss 5 laps to the end. So he's in control at the moment. He has to maintain the rhythm, because look, Giotto is not far.
Every single time we saw Giotto and Leclerc in a fair race today, Leclerc just seemed to have a bit more of a margin, didn't he? He seemed to have more. That is why he has ended up so far ahead. This is Johnny Cecotto heading to turn number 10, and a big lock up to send him wide through the corner and over the sausage curb. The car bottoms out. He has to wait for it to end, and he's able to rejoin with nothing more than a jolt. Now Albon and Rowland, who we've already seen very close together at turn number 1, battling for what was then the lead of the race, together again once more, and this is the advantage for Ollie Rowland. Now he's got those tyres up to temperature. This is the advantage of staying out longer. He stayed cool. He's now making that tyre advantage. He can push harder because he's got less laps to do on the tyres, and he's got Alexander Albon in his sights. Albon was once the fastest man around this racetrack, but it's Ollie Rowland on the charge now.
Make it easy, Rowland, because up there is the podium position, so do it easily, without stressing the tires, and they made it. Well done.
Got a wonderful picture of the speed there as they build up to 190 miles an hour, and Ollie Rowland takes 4th position, but can he rescue a podium? By far the best in looking after his hard tyres, and ART would have been hoping that Albon could have made that slightly difficult, because can he now close the gap in the few laps remaining, as you say, Davide, to haul himself onto the podium for the 2nd consecutive race in a row, but one that would make him feel a lot better than the last time he was standing on the podium in Bahrain. Camera is through, but remember, he is going to have surely a larger penalty applied for failing to take that time penalty earlier on in the race. So a nice move on Delatraz to get himself up to 12th position, but I think a time penalty is coming for the young Brazilian driver, in fact the youngest driver in the field. Look at the difference there. This was Matsushita and Albon, and the bad news between the teammates is that there is a dams between them, and he is lapping even faster than we're currently seeing.
Yeah, you're right, as it is. And Rowland is even closer to Matsushita. 3 seconds, 0.5 now, so we will see another fight. And now it's for the podium position, for the 3rd place.
So I tell you what, Nobuharu Matsushita was so frustrated after qualifying. He had the engine failure, which cost him in Bahrain when he was meant to start from reverse grid pole, and he is going to be so frustrated to hear that he's got Ollie Rowland coming at him at a fast race of knots. Not the only dams on the racetrack doing it, the other, well, what a case. Look at that, that is the exact time, 2.2 seconds of the last lap. He's not the only dams on the racetrack doing it though. Also, Nicholas Latifi is pushing like crazy to try and get himself up the order. Currently in 8th position, but he's surely, given the pace that he's showing, going to be able to get past King before the end of the race, given the differences they have. And what has Malia got left? Because he was not fighting the guys on the alternate strategy.
4 laps to go, 4 laps to go. Try to push more to avoid Roland to catch you in the DRS zone.
Not the news that he would have wanted to hear.
Not easy for laps to the end. Hearing you need to push more is not easy. Roland is coming, but he has to hope to maintain the gap, because Roland for sure he will lose the effect of the fresh tires in the next few laps, so he has still a chance to maintain the position.
Matsushita will be hoping that that cliff of drop-off is coming very soon, because Ollie Roland is in the 1:34s, Nobuharu Matsushita is in the 1 minute 37s, and there are 3 laps to go. The gap was 3.1 seconds. The other damsel, Nicholas Latifi, getting very close indeed, and I think with the traction and the use of DRS, an extended DRS zone around this racetrack, of course, which has made the move slightly easier today. They've extended it for Formula 1, but it is also used by Formula 2 and GP3 as well for the first time. Here comes Latifi. King knows that he's going to look after his tyres. No defence, no point in using more of the tyres that he needed to, and now Latifi gets himself up to 7th. If King can stay there, he will be very pleased, because that's reverse grid pole for tomorrow. But it's worth looking at Artem Markelov. As we see Roberto Merri still wearing his old manor overalls. He was given the call pretty late in the day to replace Stefano Coletti, and he really has stood in at the last moment. You can see Matsushita all over the road there. Huge amounts of oversteer, and he's got his mirrors full now of Ollie Roland, who is on the warpath, trying to catch the Japanese driver, the Honda back driver, and here comes the Renault back driver. And I don't think if he gets any, well, he's now within DRS range. You can see that on your screen. And Matsushita, who bemoaned his luck with the yellow flags, he was so annoyed about his mechanical problem. He needed a result today. He needed to taste the champagne today. Well, he's fought his way through nicely. He's given himself a bit more confidence, but I'm sure there's nothing he's going to be able to do in the final 2 laps of this motor race.
Oh, really good exit from the last chicane for Ollie Roland. Then they took the slipstream. Now he has the DRS.
Has tried desperately all the way through. Now this is Markelov for reverse grid pole. This is for 8th position, minor points, and that is how much it means to Jordan King, who is refusing to yield, and he's going to have to get his elbows out, because we know what a wily overtaker King is. You can see how much he's struggling to get the power down, and Markelov will know. Got to take a breath, got to be calm, because there are so many traction zones around this racetrack where King is going to struggle. It wasn't a traction zone in the end, it was outbraking for Jordan King. Oh, he's coming back, he's refusing to give up. King doesn't care, he's giving it absolutely everything. His tyres are shot to pieces. Here's a traction zone. King is going to push him. Can King hang on? No, he can't. Well, Jordan King gave it absolutely everything he had to try and keep Markelov behind, but on the different tyres. That is the difference between Markelov of yesteryear and Markelov of 2017. Kept cool, kept calm. He's had a bit of a nightmare with the timing of the safety car, but he knows he can rescue his weekend, keep himself in the championship hunt. Now he's on reverse grid pole for tomorrow.
Yeah, you're right. He created himself for himself a great chance for tomorrow. He was calm, he had a good move, he tried, he lost the chance, and then the contender missed the corner and he used it. So really well done for Markelov.
Malia dropping like a stone here. Absolutely horrible lap times in the 37s. Latifi much, much faster. Half a second away as they go on to their last lap. DRS wide open. Rams pair today have been thrilling to watch. They've made it work. Ollie Roland in style, heading to a podium despite that enormous disadvantage of the safety car timing. But we're here with the leader, the man who started on pole. You see the prancing horse. He is Ferrari's young hope. That's why he's in this Italian Prima team. He has the final sector of the lap to go. was counting Bahrain as a one-off, said this race really reset things, but if you can win in Bahrain and you can win in Barcelona, you're surely going to be quick absolutely everywhere. Everywhere Prima goes, they seem to be a factor at the racetrack. What an outfit, but what a driver. A winner in GP3 this time last year. He's got one corner to go, the Monegasque driver. Charles Leclerc wins in Barcelona to ratchet up another Formula 2 victory, and Luca Ghiotto makes it 2 podiums from 2 rounds. He is looking every inch the championship contender as well. He finished 3.7 seconds away, but you've got to really make some noise now for Ollie Rowland, because he will be coming home in a few seconds' time to complete a quite brilliant recovery drive. We are focusing, understandably, on the young rookie sensation. Almost an air of disbelief behind for Leclerc. Let's hear from the winner then, and then we'll confirm the race order.
Yes, yes, yes! Oh! Thank you very much. Oh, it's amazing. Oh my God, unbelievable. Honestly, unbelievable. We didn't, well, I don't know, but in my opinion, the other strategy would have been better with the radio working. What a race.
Well, he had to fight his way back through, but fight his way back through he did. It only really looked in doubt for the millisecond when he was right behind Boschung at turn number 4 and nearly making contact, but he didn't make contact, unlike his teammate, and he is driven to such an assured performance. Had to side his way through the field in Bahrain to take his first victory. His second was always in his grasp the moment that the safety car was deployed, and the fans may be robbed of the opportunity to see the strategies play out in the final laps. Ollie Rowland will be wondering what he could have achieved if the safety car had not come out for Sergio Canamassas, as the marshals give well-deserved applause. Off the podium, Matsushita managed to get himself from 10th on the grid to 4th in the race. Alex Albon, another strong points finish for the man who started in second, and not second, 5th I should say, and then Latifi, the other charging dams. A tip of the hat to Gustav Mallier, who had absolutely no tyres, but he gets his first points for racing engineering. Markelov's move on King, who really, considering where King's tyres were at, put in a really sensational defence. Couldn't quite keep Markelov at bay, and Markelov has a chance, great chance, given the pace we've seen from Russian time this weekend, of making it a second victory of the campaign. Is that to be our title battle? I think we're expecting an awful lot of winners this year, but at the moment the field is going to have to turn its attention. There's a look at Ollie Rowland. They're going to have to turn their attention to not only Charles Leclerc, but maybe this man as well. Certainly the way he managed the tyres in a Liga part of those who started on the hard rubber today, which bodes well because that was a real issue last year for Dams when they ran this car in GP2. In Formula 2, they seem to have got on top of it. But here is the race winner. Huge din from his mechanics. It was a bit of a lonely race for Luca Ghiotto, but he will be pleased to be on the podium once again. You've got to get that consistency going to get a championship battle going and to fight it, but that is exactly what Ghiotto has managed to do for Russian time so far. Well, we've only had three races, I should say. 4th is tomorrow. But on the podium every single time in Formula 2, which is incredible to say, Charles Leclerc, who is embraced by his mechanics. And we heard him on the radio in qualifying yesterday saying, well, I can't believe the car I've got. Almost disbelief in his tone. Nicholas Tott, his manager there, embracing him a few seconds ago in the white shirt and now working his way through the team. They're a real unit. You can see how pumped up he is. I think what he said about not really believing the Bahrain success is true. Congratulations from one GP3 graduate to another. And soaking up the applause in the sunshine, a driver who is going to generate even more hype than he already has. So on the podium in every race, a perfect start to the season, but it's Ollie Rowland getting embraced there that rather makes us wonder whether he's going to get himself into the title battle that many expect him to be a part of. Already though, Leclerc, who was the championship leader,
next time. Yeah,
just listening in to what they're saying here.
It's only a question of luck. You did the job.
A lovely quote there. Only a question of luck. You did the job. He certainly did today. He certainly did. And but for Canamasas being able to pull to the side of the road, we might have seen a different outcome. But we know that Leclerc was always driving within himself after he established that gap at the front. It's led to these scenes where he is the winner. 2 victories registered already. He had a third and a first in Bahrain, and now he's got another first position to add to that to extend his championship advantage at this very early stage, with only 3 races of the year gone so far. Let's listen in to what they're talking about in the cool-down room.
How was the end?
Yeah, it was alright.
Were you very fast or?
I wasn't like very fast. I was fast with both tires. I wasn't like super fast, but I don't even know what times you were doing.
I think at the end I was 36. Yeah.
I could do like 34, 35.
Every lap?
No. The last 2 I stopped pushing because he was too far in front. Back to pass Albin and Matt.
Fuck. We had so much traffic going out after with Jeffrey and...
Sorry about any language you heard there. They are exhausted after a hard day's work in the sun. 37 laps that seem to absolutely fly by. Yeah, just talking about lap times, it's always interesting to hear the drivers comparing notes. You can hear Ollie Rowland didn't think he was super fast, but he's got himself on the rostrum. Here he comes. It's another podium for a man who has managed to find the rostrum on lots of occasions during his career. Luca Giotto makes it 2 Formula 2 podiums in just the 2 rounds. But it's Charles Leclerc who all the headlines are going to be written about. Let's hear, in his honour, the national anthem of Monaco. The Monegasque national anthem for the Monegasque driver, Charles Leclerc, very much deserves his trophy.
The Mayor of Montemelo. Congratulations
to the podium.
To the second place
You
driver,
see,
Luca
he's
Giotto.
been made
The
to work
trophy is
for it.
presented by Manuel Avino, the president of
So
the
another one
Spanish
for Luca
Federation.
Giotto. Scored 3 podiums in GP2. He has been able to take
driver Oliver Rowland.
2
Congratulations
very quickly at the start of the 2017 season.
Guys.
And Ollie Rowland happy to add to the silverware for the Dams team. And it's very warm indeed out there. 27 degrees, in fact. They've earned themselves the chance to cool down. And a race that really did favour those on one set of the strategy. But as Ollie Rowland proved, a little slice of bad luck does not mean that your race is over. He did not give up. And so we didn't get a straight fight, but we have got a mixed strategy podium as a result.
Now interviewing the drivers on the podium, former GP2 champion Davide Valsecchi.
So let's hear from Davide. He has made the trip from the commentary box to hear from the top
What
3.
a race, guys. Another one for the third one. Charles, really well done. Comes here, please. What a magic race. Another time after the pole position, after a really good start. Which is the feeling? Because you were amazing today.
Wow, what a race! I think it's definitely the best race. That feels the best in my career. It was really hard. I mean, at the start we saw that we had a problem with the radio, so we changed the strategy actually just there with cold tires to just go, because otherwise it will be too much of a mess with the other strategy. So we just started on option, and we weren't really sure whether it will work or not. But then we put the hard tires, and it was quite okay. Then I did my own race. To be honest, I didn't really know what was around me, because, as I said, I had absolutely no information from the box. So it feels amazing to win today.
Really well done, really well done. Luca, Giotto, second place. What a race. You had a try at the beginning, and you left all the Italian hope for your victory, but then maybe you missed a bit the break, and it was good to recover the position. Anyway, podium, another one. You're there in the championship. Hope you're happy.
Yeah, I'm happy. I need to thank the team because the car was great. I think probably I made a mistake on managing too much the tires at the beginning of the stint on the hard tires, because I lost too much time to Pierre. At the end I was faster than him, but not enough to catch him, so that's the only thing that I will change in the race. But other than that, it's good. We got closer to them, and if we continue like this, we will be good for the championship.
Congratulations, really well done. And then third position for Roland, Dams Racing. What a race, and maybe you were also a bit unlucky with the safety car, but at the end you were really competitive with both compound, and you were on fire with some good fight at the end. Really well done.
No, thank you. The car was really good today. It's a shame about the safety car, otherwise I think we probably could have won the race. You know, our pace, even with the hard tire in the first stint, was really strong at the end, and I could have kept going as well. You know, it's been one of my downsides in the past. I've been able to fight and I've been able to be fast, but I haven't managed to finish the race. But I think today shows that, you know, over the winter we did a good program, and we're extremely strong in the race.
Congratulations to Roland and to Team Dams for a great result. Charles, again with you, please, because today was amazing, and your team Prema stops you, and I thought maybe it's too early, but then they were right, because safety car comes in, maybe you get a little advantage with Giotto to the others, but you are so good in quali, and then so confident in the race, and then so talented in the overtakes. Oh, you're a great driver, my friend.
Thank you very much. I think, for the safety car, it's a little bit of luck. It's needed when to win. There's always a little bit of luck. Today, it has helped us out well. But it was definitely not easy, because even with the safety car, then we started our run on prime tires with a lot of traffic, with a lot of cars in front of us, and we had to overtake them as well without destroying the tires, because it's not like we will destroy the tires and stop one lap earlier. We hadn't any other stops to do. It was really tricky. Good race. I have to thank the team though for the amazing car.
Congratulations, guys. It was a great show. See you tomorrow for another race. Hasta mañana para gara 2 della Formula 2.
Enjoy Sky Sports F1 Live on all screens, on the go, and the best bits on demand.